Welcome to another deep dive. This time, we're heading straight to the Peruvian Amazon
Oh, wow.
to explore a pretty amazing encounter.
Okay.
It all starts with a scientific field observation. Well, actually a published note. It's about a rarely witnessed predation attempt. One that really makes you realize how much we still don't know about the rainforest.
I can only imagine.
You might think you know toucans, right? Those brightly colored birds with the big beaks.
Yeah, of course.
Well, get ready to see them in a whole new light.
I'm intrigued already. So, what's so special about this encounter? What were the players involved?
Well, the fascinating part is the prey.
Okay.
We're talking about the neotropical pygmy squirrel, one of the smallest squirrels out there.
Wow, I've never even heard of that.
These tiny creatures are so understudied, you know?
Really?
Scientists mainly just catch glimpses of them,
I see.
scurrying solo or in small groups on tree trunks.
Non-free trunks, huh?
And that's where our story gets really, really interesting.
Okay, I'm all ears.
So there's this scientist, Camilo Flores Amasifuen.
Okay.
He's in the Amazon, right? And he sees something absolutely incredible. Just picture this. A white-throated toucan,
Uh-huh.
maybe about 8 meters up in a tree,
Okay.
swoops down and snatches a neotropical pygmy squirrel right off a tree trunk.
Wow. No way.
It's actually the first documented observation
Oh, wow.
of any predator, like going after one of these pygmy squirrels.
So this is pretty groundbreaking stuff then.
Totally. This note from Amasifuen,
Right.
which was published in the journal Ecology, by the way,
Oh, cool.
gives us this incredible peek into
Yeah.
a predator-prey relationship that's completely new to science.
That's amazing, especially considering, like you said, how little we know about these little guys.
Exactly. So, okay, the toucan grabs the squirrel. What happens next? This is where things get really wild.
Okay, now I'm really hooked. What did it do?
The toucan, it didn't just, like, catch it, you know?
Uh-huh.
It started slamming the poor squirrel, like, repeatedly against a liana,
Oh, my goodness.
almost like it was trying to tenderize its meal.
Wow, that's intense. I never would have imagined a toucan being so, well, brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising, right? I mean, most people think of toucans as, like, the gentle giants of the rainforest.
Yeah, just munching on fruit all day long.
Right. So does this observation, like, change that whole perception?
That's a good question.
Are they more than just fruit eaters?
Well, it's true that their diet is mostly fruit,
Yeah.
but this paper and some other research, too, shows that toucans are actually what we call opportunistic predators.
Opportunistic predators.
Meaning, if there's a chance for them to grab a meaty snack, they're going to take it.
That makes sense.
I mean, think about it. They have those powerful beaks for a reason.
Right. This toucan definitely put that beak to work.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the squirrel? What happened after this crazy attack?
So, as Amasifuen got closer, the toucan actually dropped the squirrel.
Oh.
But here's the really amazing part. The squirrel was still alive. Can you believe that?
After being slammed against a liana. That's incredible.
I know, right? It managed to climb right back up the tree.
Wow. Talk about resilience.
Right. Maybe a little dazed,
I can only imagine.
but alive.
That's unbelievable. What surprised you most about all of this? Was it like the toucan's behavior or the squirrel's escape or something else entirely?
For me, what's
Yeah.
really mind-blowing is that this is the first time anyone has seen this type of interaction.
Right.
This tiny squirrel, it was surviving, like, right under our noses this whole time.
We had no clue.
Exactly. It really makes you wonder, like, what other secrets the rainforest is hiding?
So true. It really highlights just how much we still don't know about this ecosystem
Yeah.
and the creatures that call it home.
For sure.
Okay, so we've been focusing a lot on the squirrel,
Right.
but let's shift gears for a second and talk more about the toucan.
Okay.
What does this whole observation tell us about its role in the rainforest?
Well, it definitely adds another layer, right, to our understanding of what the toucan does in the rainforest.
I see.
It challenges that simple idea that they're just fruit eaters. Clearly, they're way more complex than that.
So we're seeing them as these opportunistic predators.
Right.
What else does the research tell us about, like, their diet? What else do they eat?
Well, along with this pygmy squirrel, Amasifuen mentions that toucans have also been seen eating rats.
Rats. Really?
Yeah, and even thrushes,
Thrushes.
which are types of birds.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize they had such a diverse diet.
Yeah, their diet is definitely more varied than we typically think.
That's pretty impressive. But this brings up a question for me.
Okay.
We've talked about how pygmy squirrels are, often seen on tree trunks.
Right, right.
Could that foraging habit, actually make them more vulnerable
I see what you're getting at.
to predators like toucans?
It's definitely a
That
possibility.
they're basically out in the open, right?
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Those trunks give a clear view for any predator that's flying overhead.
That makes sense.
And their pale coloring probably doesn't help much either.
Yeah, they're not exactly camouflaged against the bark, are they?
Nope. Not at all.
So it's almost like they're, like, advertising their presence
Yeah, kind of.
to a hungry toucan.
Exactly. But, wouldn't natural selection, favor squirrels that avoid those, like, risky tree trunks?
That's a good point. Why would they be hanging out there?
Right. And that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's possible that
Yeah.
that foraging on trunks actually gives them, like, access to resources
Okay.
that other squirrels can't reach.
Interesting.
Maybe there's a particular kind of insect they like or sap that they can only find on those trunks.
So it's like a trade-off then.
Exactly. It's like this classic, like, risk versus reward
Okay,
situation.
gaining food, but increasing their vulnerability.
You got it.
Wow, a classic risk versus reward playing out right there in the rainforest.
Pretty cool, huh?
Totally. Now, this observation happened in the Peruvian Amazon, right?
Right.
Can we just assume that similar predator-prey dynamics are happening, in other parts of the world too?
That's a great question.
Like this is a common thing?
And it really highlights, the need for more research.
Okay.
See, most of the studies on squirrel predation have really focused on temperate species.
Temperate species.
The ones that live in, like, milder climates,
Right.
tropical squirrels, like our little pygmy friend, are incredibly understudied.
Really?
We can't just assume that what we see in one region
Yeah.
holds true for all the others.
That makes sense.
It's just we don't have enough data yet.
So this one single observation in Peru
Yeah.
basically opens up
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole world
For sure.
of potential research questions.
Exactly. It really makes you think, like, what other predators might target these pygmy squirrels, right?
Yeah.
Are there, like, regional differences in predation pressures? How do their behaviors change depending on, what predators they have to deal with?
Wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah,
It's like this one encounter has given us this whole new lens
totally.
to view these, like, seemingly familiar creatures.
Yeah, and that's the power of field observations like this one.
Uh-huh.
They can really spark
Yeah.
completely new avenues
Wow.
of scientific inquiry.
It really makes you appreciate,
Yeah.
the work of scientists like Amasifwen,
Yeah,
patiently observing and documenting these incredible interactions.
for sure. It's not easy work.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we zoom out a bit,
Okay.
what does this whole story tell us about the broader rainforest ecosystem?
Well, I think it really reminds us
Yeah.
of the incredible interconnectedness
Yeah.
of life in the rainforest,
Right.
Every creature, from the smallest squirrel to the largest predator, has this role in maintaining this, like, intricate web of life.
Right.
Even a seemingly simple interaction, like a toucan trying to eat a squirrel,
Yeah.
has ripple effects
Yeah.
throughout the whole ecosystem.
Wow. That's amazing. We often think of rainforests as these lush, vibrant places.
Yeah, for sure.
But this encounter, it reveals, like, this darker,
Yeah,
more competitive side to
Yeah.
that beauty.
absolutely. It's this constant struggle for survival.
Right.
Every creature
Yeah.
is playing this delicate balancing act
Uh-huh.
between, finding food
Yeah.
and avoiding becoming food themselves.
Wow, that's pretty intense. Speaking of finding food, we've been, like, really focused
Yeah.
on the threats that pygmy squirrels face.
Right.
But are there any benefits, that they
Yeah.
bring to the rainforest?
Well, while we don't have specific data on the neotropical pygmy squirrel,
Okay.
we can look at other squirrel species.
Okay.
And a lot of them are actually really important seed dispersers.
Wait, so squirrels actually help plants spread their seed?
Exactly.
How does that even work?
Think of it like an accidental gardening service.
Oh, okay.
Squirrels, they bury nuts and seeds for later, right?
Right.
But they often forget where they've stashed them.
Oh, okay.
Or, sometimes they just don't need all of them.
Yeah.
So those forgotten seeds have a chance to, like, germinate and grow into new plants.
So it's their forgetfulness that helps the forest flourish.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a win-win situation.
That's amazing.
The squirrels get their food, and the plants get their seeds dispersed
Right.
far and wide.
Wow. That's incredible.
It's a reminder that even the tiniest creatures can have a huge impact on their environment.
It's amazing to think that this one little squirrel, surviving a toucan attack,
Right.
could actually be responsible for, like, a whole grove of trees
Exactly.
years down the line.
It really underscores that interconnectedness of the rainforest. Each creature, no matter how small, has this ripple effect on the whole ecosystem.
This whole deep dive has been, like, a huge reminder that there's just so much we still don't know
For sure.
about these seemingly familiar creatures.
Right.
And the world that they inhabit.
Definitely.
What other mysteries about pygmy squirrels, do you think are still out there?
Oh, man, where do I even begin?
I know, right?
I mean, we've only just scratched the surface here.
Yeah.
Like, what are their social structures like?
Yeah.
How do they communicate with each other?
Right.
What are their reproductive strategies?
Yeah.
And maybe, most importantly, how are they adapting to all the pressures of deforestation and climate change?
That's a good point.
It's a lot to consider.
It is a sobering thought.
Yeah.
But a crucial one, for sure.
Definitely.
It's like this seemingly simple observation of a toucan and a squirrel has opened up this whole Pandora's box of questions about the rainforest's future.
Absolutely. But, that's the beauty of science.
Yeah.
Every new discovery leads to more questions.
Right.
It drives us to, keep exploring and understand the intricate workings of our planet.
That's so true.
It's a never-ending journey, really.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what's the one thought you want our listeners to, walk away with?
Next time you see a two, just remember, behind that colorful beak might be a pretty fierce predator.
Right.
And even a seemingly simple interaction can have these, profound implications for the whole ecosystem.
That's a powerful message.
And when you think of a squirrel, just picture our little pygmy friend dodging danger and playing this crucial role in the heart of the Amazon.
It's a reminder that even the smallest creatures have a story to tell.
Absolutely.
And those stories are just so important
They are.
for understanding this intricate web of life.
For sure.
That connects us all.
It really does.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey
My pleasure.
into the rainforest.
It was a lot of fun.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Always. You mentioned seed dispersal.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating.
Especially in the rainforest.
Right. With all that diversity of plants.
Exactly.
How do these tiny squirrels, how do they even navigate all of that
That's a great question.
to play their part as dispersers?
I mean, you're talking about these dense rainforests, right?
Oh.
With those towering trees and all that thick understory.
Uh-huh.
So for a little creature like the pygmy squirrel, that's a pretty big challenge.
I don't know, trying to navigate a jungle gym
Yeah,
100 times your size?
exactly. But somehow they managed to do it.
That's amazing.
They can travel these impressive distances,
Wow.
playing this crucial role in keeping that forest's biodiversity going.
It's like they're, tiny gardeners?
Yeah, you could say that.
Planting the seeds for future trees?
Exactly.
It's kind of wild to think.
I know, right?
That this little squirrel, the one that survived that toucan attack,
Right.
could be responsible for, a whole grove of trees years from now.
It really highlights that connection.
Yeah.
Everything's connected in the rainforest.
Every creature, no matter how small, has a ripple effect.
Absolutely.
Pretty powerful.
It is. This whole deep dive,
Yeah.
it's a reminder that there's just so much we don't know
Oh, for sure.
about these creatures and the world they live in.
What other mysteries about pygmy squirrels do you think are, waiting to be uncovered?
Oh, man, so many. Where do I even start?
I know, right? We've just scratched the surface here.
Exactly. What are their social structures like?
Right.
How do they communicate?
What about their reproductive strategies?
Right.
And, maybe most important of all,
Yeah.
how are they adapting to deforestation? Climate change, all of that.
That's a really good point.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it is a sobering thought,
It is.
but an important one.
For sure.
It's like the simple observation.
Yeah.
The toucan and the squirrel, it's opened up
It has, hasn't it?
this whole Pandora's box of questions.
Yeah, about the future of the rainforest, really.
Exactly. But
That's
you know
it.
what? That's the beauty of science.
Yeah.
Every time we discover something new,
Right.
it just leads to more questions.
It's true. It keeps us going.
It pushes us to, keep exploring.
Keep learning.
Figure out how our planet works.
It's a never-ending journey.
It really is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
what's the one thought you want our listeners to walk away with?
Well, next time you see a toucan, just remember that behind that colorful beak could be a pretty fierce predator.
Right.
And even something as simple as, a toucan trying to grab a squirrel can have like these huge effects on the whole ecosystem.
It's a powerful thought for sure.
It is. And when you think of a squirrel, picture our little pygmy friend dodging danger and, playing this crucial role. Right there in the Amazon.
It's a reminder that even the smallest creatures have these amazing stories.
They do.
And those stories are so important.
They are.
For understanding, how everything's connected.
Right, that web of life.
That web of life, exactly.
It connects us all.
It really does.
It was my pleasure.
Well, the pleasure was all ours. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it was fun talking toucans and squirrels.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Until next time.
See ya.
Keep exploring.
Always.